The email arrives at 4:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. The subject line is, "An important update on our organizational structure." Most people feel a jolt of fear, then immediately open their browser to update their professional profile. This is their first and most critical mistake. The chaos of a corporate reorganization is a test, and it has no easy answers. Brilliant, hard-working people get laid off while political operators seem to float effortlessly to safety. Other times, the quiet indispensable experts are the only ones left with the lights on after everyone else has packed their boxes. Both strategies have a logic, and both have a price. Where do you stand? By the end of this, you might change your mind. The first response to chaos is to build a fortress. This is the path of the indispensable operator. Their strategy is simple and powerful, becomes so fundamentally critical to a core business function that the cost of removing you is higher than the savings. They double down on their work. They become the single source of truth for a vital system, a complex project, or an essential client relationship. While others are gossiping and speculating, the operator is documenting processes, closing tickets, and delivering results with unflinching reliability. Their motto is "Excellence is the best politics." In a storm, everyone looks for a rock to cling to. The operator becomes that rock. Their stability becomes their shield. Think of the senior accountant who is the only person alive who understands the company's arcane international tax structure, or the software engineer who maintains the legacy billing system that processes millions of dollars a day, a system written in a language nobody else has used in a decade. When the consultants with their spreadsheets arrive, they see a name and a function, but when they talk to managers, they hear a different story. "We can't lose Sarah. If she leaves, we can't close our books. If David walks, we stop getting paid." This kind of dependency is a powerful form of leverage. It's job security forged from pure competence. The operator isn't just doing their job, they are becoming the job. They are transforming their personal knowledge into structural importance. They are building a moat around their role, filled with complexity and institutional history. It's a compelling strategy. It feels honest. It feels earned. That sounds like a solid plan. A fortress of competence. But a fortress can become a prison. The very walls you build to protect yourself can trap you inside. What happens when the company decides to abandon the entire castle? The operator who masters the legacy billing system is safe only as long as that system is considered essential. The moment the new chief technology officer decides to migrate to a modern off-the-shelf solution, the operator's deep knowledge transforms from a critical asset into a historical footnote. You've just made yourself the world's foremost expert in a dead language. The stability you offered is now seen as resistance to change. The very complexity you cultivated as a defense now marks you as part of the old world, part of the problem that needs to be streamlined away. Your fortress has become your tomb. This is where the second philosophy emerges. The political navigator sees the reorg email and has a completely different reaction. They feel a jolt of opportunity. They understand that a reorganization is a moment when the corporate map is being redrawn, and the people holding the pen are looking for allies. The navigator's first move is to figure out who is winning. They don't look at the current org chart, they try to sketch the future one. They spend their time absorbing the language of the new strategy. They read the CEO's memo not once, but 5 times, highlighting the key phrases that will soon populate every PowerPoint deck for the next 2 years. Synergy, platform-centric, agile transformation. These are the new keys to the kingdom. The navigator's days are filled with strategic coffees. They connect with people 1 or 2 levels above them in the departments that are clearly getting more resources. They volunteer for the messy, undefined special projects and task forces that have high executive visibility. They understand a crucial truth. In times of uncertainty, decisions are made by a small group of people based on limited information. Being visible and appearing aligned with a new direction is more valuable than being the best performer in a division that's about to be eliminated. The navigator is playing a different game. Their currency is information, access, and perception. They are skating to where the puck is going, even if it means leaving their old teammates and responsibilities behind. They offer to write the first draft of the new team's charter. They find a quick, visible win that makes the new vice president look good. They are building a new kind of security, one based on relevance and relationships instead of technical skill. This adaptability seems like the ultimate key to thriving. Always be closing. Always be climbing. And yet, this path is riddled with its own traps. It can look like naked ambition. It can feel hollow. The navigator risks being seen as a mercenary, someone whose loyalty is always for sale to the highest bidder in the political marketplace. Trust is built through shared struggle and consistent behavior over time. The navigator's constant motion prevents them from ever putting down the roots necessary for genuine trust to grow. Their old team feels abandoned. Their new allies, the ones they work so hard to impress, may see them as useful, but they will rarely see them as essential. After all, they saw how quickly you dropped your last set of loyalties. What's to stop you from doing it to them? Imagine the person who successfully navigates 3 reorgs in 5 years, each time landing in a better position. On the surface, they are a success story. But by the 4th reorg, something has changed. Their reputation precedes them. People know their playbook. They are seen as a political player first and a colleague second. They get the meeting, but they don't get the truth. They are included in the project, but they are excluded from the honest conversations that happen after the meeting ends. And there's an even bigger risk. What if you bet on the wrong horse? You align yourself with a rising star VP who seems to have the CEO's ear, only to have that VP get fired 3 months later in a surprise second wave of cuts. Now you are marked. You are the lieutenant of a deposed leader. You have no deep operational value to fall back on because you traded it for political capital that has just evaporated overnight. Your adaptability has made you collateral damage, so pure politics is dangerous. It lacks a foundation, the constant maneuvering is exhausting, and a single misstep can be fatal. It seems the only safe path is to return to what you can control, your work, your skills, your tangible contributions, to go back to being the pillar, the indispensable operator who builds their security on a bedrock of real measurable value. But this brings us right back to the original problem. The pillar risks becoming a magnificent, expertly crafted irrelevance. We are caught in a loop. Head down, you risk being seen as having your head in the clouds. Neither extreme offers true safety. The truth, as usual, is more complicated than either side admits. The people who consistently survive and thrive in these upheavals are rarely pure pillars or pure navigators. They are a hybrid. They are competent navigators. They understand that you must do both. You must keep the engines running while also having a clear view from the bridge. This reveals the core tension of a reorganization, the fundamental trade-off that everyone must make. It's about the allocation of your most precious non-renewable resource, your time and your focus. You have roughly 40 productive hours in a week. Every hour you spend mastering a legacy system is an hour you cannot spend building a relationship with a new head of strategy. Every coffee meeting you take to map the new power structure is an hour you are not spending helping your team hit its current targets. You cannot do both perfectly. You must choose your ratio. What does this hybrid model look like in practice? It's the pillar who, instead of just guarding their knowledge, actively works to teach it to others. They document their processes, they train a junior colleague, and they propose a plan to modernize the very system they are the expert on. This action does something incredible. It changes their identity from the only one who knows X to the person who solved the problem of X. One is a bottleneck. The other is a strategic thinker. They are still a pillar, but they are a pillar that is helping to design the new building. It's the navigator who uses their networking skills, not just for personal advancement, but for the good of their team. When they hear about a new initiative in another department, they don't just see a personal opportunity. They see a chance to connect their team's work to that new initiative, to find a budget, to protect their people. They use their political access to act as an ambassador and an advocate. Their navigation serves a purpose beyond themselves. They are still a navigator, but they are navigating for their crew, not just for themselves. This hybrid approach requires a painful form of self-awareness. You must be brutally honest about where your value lies. Are you leaning too heavily on what you already know? Is your professional identity tied up in a title or a technology that could vanish tomorrow? You must guard against competence hoarding. Conversely, you have to ask if your networking is productive or just a form of procrastination. Are you building genuine alliances based on mutual value, or are you just collecting contacts? This isn't about becoming a different person overnight. It's about consciously rebalancing your efforts. Maybe it's shifting your allocation from 90% operational and 10% strategic to 70% operational and 30% strategic. That 30% is spent reading, asking questions, and understanding the broader business context. It's about translating your team's work into the language of the new leadership. You stop reporting on activities completed and start reporting on impact on strategic priorities. Same work, different frame. The frame is everything. The reorg is a fire. It burns away ambiguity. It reveals what the organization truly values. Right now, it is a moment of painful clarity. For many, this is terrifying. For the competent navigator, it's a diagnostic tool. The fear you feel is a signal. It's data. It's pointing directly at your point of highest vulnerability. If you're afraid of your skills becoming obsolete, that's the pillar in you calling for attention. If you're afraid you don't know the right people, that's the navigator telling you where to invest. The goal was to listen to both, to honor the craftsman who delivers excellent work, and to empower the strategist who sees the whole board. So, where do you draw the line? How do you choose your blend between the pillar and the navigator? One provides the security of being irreplaceable, at the risk of becoming irrelevant. The other provides the security of being adaptable, at the risk of being seen as rootless and untrustworthy. One builds a fortress on a specific plot of land. The other learns to read the winds and build a ship that can sail to new shores. But you can't be in both places at once. The next reorg email is coming. It's a statistical certainty in a career. When the dust settles, will they find you holding up a critical part of the old building, a monument to a past strategy? Or will they find you on the new construction site, helping the architects figure out where the load-bearing walls should go? What's your allocation? Where do you place your bet?